but just as people in general, we're just really removed from the production process of most things. And so like experiencing what it is to produce a product, produce a material, you think about maybe going to a paper plant that's going to produce paper and they're starting with tree pulp, which is actually pretty ironic. You guys start with the outside of the tree and they start with the inside of the tree.
We use the inside too.
Do you use the inside?
So it's the tree. The trees we use are quebracho and wattle, and we use it's the heartwood and the bark. So it's heartwood from one, tree bark from the other, but we do use both. So and that okay. So let's talk about the tanning process just a little bit. Let's get a little nitty gritty with the specifics there. So you got this wet blue hide, or not wet blue because you start with salted hides because we're veg tanning. So you got this hide with some hair on. So what does it go? Where does it go? So step one is we take the salted hides, hair on, put them into the lime paddles. The first step is removing that salt, removing that cure. That's day one. Day two is when we actually
start. Does that take a whole day?
We take 2 days to take the hair off. Day one is really just a cleanup. We're getting it ready, getting everything ready, getting all the
you're washing her down,
getting her ready. Day two is removing the hair. So we do it. We could do it in 13 hours or something like that, but we take the 48 hours to do it because one of the things about Hermann oak is we leave as much of the enamel on the grain as possible. So
grain has enamel.
It does. So
like your teeth.
Yep, it's like a protective layer.
Interesting. Okay.
So by leaving that on there, it gives it some characteristics. When we talk about what do you like about Hermann oak, a lot of people say, well, man, the way it burnishes is really good. Like I don't get that in others. Like, okay, well that's because that enamel contributes to how well you see that burnish, that dark, deep burnish. When you talk about oiling and dyeing and it's consistent in oiling and dyeing, that enamel allows for a consistent layer. Now, if you go to a different tanner where you're talking about like wet blue and chrome tanning, they don't need that because there's going to be a pigment that's put over it. We mentioned this earlier, we're not pigmenting anything. So we want to leave it as unaltered as we can.
Right.
We want to leave it as protected as we can because that's what's going to contribute. When we think in the saddle market, you got a 20-year-old saddle and it still looks like that rich patina of leather. The enamel contributes to that versus it just taking on the dirts and oils and turning that really heavy, like Mississippi mudwater brown. Right. Yeah. That enamel matters. So we take some extra time to do that. We leave that enamel on there. Then step two.